Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Next up on the inspection is the Woodcraft. Now we're going to have to change the camera angle. You don't want to see me, you want to see the tool. How's that? Is that better? That should do. So, I got my little perch here. Got my notepad, screwdrivers, testing gear. So based on price and price alone, the next plane 4.5 smoother that we're going to look at, and I should really have my paper towels. Because we don't know how much oil and grease we're going to get into. All right. This is the Woodriver, number 4.5. It is a bedrock style smoothing plane, and it's the V3, Victor 3. This has been courteously provided to us from Woodcraft Supply. Now, there are some of us, there are some of us that can remember when Woodcraft Supply was in Woburn, Massachusetts. Giving away our age. Okay. Now, it came in a second box for UPS shipment, and unfortunately, it was just put in there with no packing materials whatsoever. It was the box inside the box. So, you are seeing this like I am for the first time. We have some fine bubble wrap, and we've got the plane in its plastic bag. Let's put this over there. Now, this bag is hermetically sealed. Where is my knife? Oh, there it is. It would be so good if I were prepared, right? Ah, that's what makes it fun. All right. So we break the seal on that. We reach in, grab that tote for the first time, and out it comes. All right. And it is covered in oil, which is to be expected coming from a faraway land. You don't want it to rust. So we'll give it a quick wipe down, just because we have to handle it. I tell you what, it's really nice, pretty castings. Very fine precision grinding. All right. So, as always, we're going to begin with the weight. And it happens to be set in grams. Wow, that's a heavy one. 2767. 2767 grams. And if we're pound in ounces, 6.1 pounds. Holy camole. That's got some weight to it. All right. Next up, measurements. Okay, this one is very similar to the original Stanley and the Soba in so much as there's no notch back here like on the Bedrock. So it measures 10 3/8 by 2 and looks like 13/16, but we're going to confirm that. So 10 3/8, pretty much standard. And the width is we're going to have to do this again. 2 and almost 7/8. 13/16, so that's 26, 27 32nds. So it's almost 2 and 7/8. So that's the widest one so far. Next up, flatness. We'll see if we can continue to use this piece of 1,000th paper. Front corner, snug. Nose, snug. Right corner, snug. Under the knob, snug. Under the mouth, snug. All the way. It is grabbing all the way around. Now it looks like these are Bubinga knob and tote. I guess that's the closest you can get legally to rosewood. It's a good hard, it's a hard wood. Yeah, this is as flat as I can measure. So flatness plus or minus 1,000th of an inch. 0.001 of an inch. All right, now on to the cheek thickness. Visually, they look good. Left cheek. Measures 1.15, 1.5, 1.7. That's pretty thick. And the right cheek. Point one. 6. .165. So very close in thickness. And now, are they square? Ooh. Once again, let's try the 1,000th. All right, that's out of square. Where's my feeler gauge? Let's try 2,000ths. It's too much. Looks like it's off by 1.5 thousandths on the left. And on the right, it is slightly out at the bottom, which would make sense because it would be a parallel situation to the other side. Let's try the 1.5 thousandths feeler gauge. That's too much. Try the 1,000th paper. And that's too much. So the right side is more square than the left by quite a bit. So we're going to say less than 0.001 of an inch. Very nice. So far, so good. Lever cap. It's precision ground here. All surfaces seem to be polished. Once again, I don't know if this is stainless. I didn't look it up. There's a little imperfection here. There's a divot, but that's just because when they were sanding, they went, oops. But knuckle works fine. Spring looks good. That gets a pass. There are some sharp edges I can feel. Very sharp edges. So the lever cap gets a pass. Now on to the blade set. That was pretty snug on there. And I notice they had a bit of plastic here to protect. Maybe that was what was used to help keep it all in place in transit. Naturally, the blade set is covered in oil. I don't know what kind of oil. It's a very light, thin oil, but it's covered in oil. Blade set is thick, very thick. All right. We don't need the block anymore, so back it goes out of the way. Lever cap, blade set. Cap iron screw is not knurled. It's smooth and it's 5/8 inch. Smooth 5/8 inch. Takes the same screwdriver. Now, I can already feel every aspect of the chip breaker and the cutting iron are sharp. All these edges are sharp, so you would have to just be a little careful handling them. And once again, I don't know how they make these, if they're stamped or if they're milled, but the inside slot is rough. It is rough. So when you're setting it down on your lateral, there may be some resistance. Hope you're having a good day. It's autumn here. Not too many more days of me wearing short sleeve shirts. It's 63 degrees in here right now, which is comfortable for me. So yes, all of these edges are sharp, every bit. Now, the primary bevel on the chip breaker appears to be the same as most others, and they should be at 25. Well, maybe not. 45, 15, 20, 25. Yep, 25 degrees. And there is an ever so small flat on the chip breaker. Right across the front. If this were me setting this up, I would polish this bevel absolutely smooth and slightly round it in the front corner there, but this is fine. It's fine. Thickness of the cap. It is 0.1 29. Is it square? Yes. It is square. All right. Cutting iron. Thickness. Boy, these are heavy. 1 to 8. 0.128. Is it square? On the right, it's square. On the left, it's square. We didn't measure the width of the chip breaker. Two and 3/8. 2 and 3/8. 2 and 3/8. It's, boy, you don't get much better than that. So cap is 2 and 3/8. A-OK. 2 and 3/8 for the cutter. A-OK. On to The lateral. Lateral is made two-piece, and the thumb portion of it is brass, and it is screwed on. So you can see it there. It's brass, and it is screwed on with two small screws. I can't tell whether the disc is a bearing or not. I am going to say it might be. It spins beautifully free. So let's just simply say that if it's not a bearing, that the disc is precision made, and that's very nice. So the lateral, two-piece, brass thumb, disc slash bearing, question mark, moves. Check. All right. On to the tote and the knob. Now, I can feel a little difference when comparing it to the Stanley. So the tote and knob are Bubinga. They are smooth. And whatever the finish is that's on here, it is smooth, but it's not glossy. I'm getting a little bit of pressure on my pinky. But not too much. Now, on the top of the lateral, the nut is buried in by over 1/8 of an inch. I don't like that. That's a big old hole there. I would probably put some washers in there to bring that up so it's flush on the top. On the knob, it is almost smooth. I would probably add a thin washer in there and bring that up smooth to the top. But there's no complaints as to the fit and finish of the furniture. Now, screw nut top of tote too deep. All right. So next on my list is the yoke and the adjuster. Now, I know that a lot of time has been put into this yoke and the adjuster, okay? And the yoke is an improved yoke. It has a bit of protrusion at the top, here and here, so that when you're advancing and retracting, it remains connected. All right? The knob, the adjusting nut or wheel moves freely. The yoke has just enough play so that it doesn't bind. So the yoke is cast iron with reasonable tolerance. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through the sharpening in this video because I want to keep these short. But after I get off camera here, I will hone the cutting iron. But I don't suspect any problems. And if there are, I will note them and I will tell you about them. Now, some of you may know this, and some of you may not. And I will only say so much because I don't want to cause anyone any trouble. While we have this open, let's just take a quick look at the frog. The frog and the pins are smooth and precisely machined. Personally, I don't know how far forward or back the frog is, but one nice thing about these pins is they have that little mark or dot on it that tells you which side of that pin has to be facing the adjusting screws in the back. Now, what I was going to say about these planes is they're not made in the United States. They are made overseas. And for those of you who have been following Woodcraft over the years, you know where they're made. And there is a company that manufactures other woodworking tools. I won't say who they are, but you can't buy them here in the United States. They will not ship them to you from England or anywhere else because Woodcraft has the sole distribution here in the United States. Now, years ago, we were able to bring them in, but that got shut down, which is sort of a shame, but I can understand it. Woodcraft has a lot of time and money invested in the development of these tools. And so other versions of it coming into the United States would dramatically cut in on their sales. So as to the adjuster nut, all right, so here it is at its apex, and then we go 1/4 turn, 2/4 turn, 5/8. 5/8 of a turn, and you go from advance to retract. So that's just a flick of the finger, and you're good to go. And as far as the diameter, inch and a quarter, they're all the same. So 1 1/4 inch diameter and 5/8 turns to advance. So there you go, everybody. The Woodriver 4.5. I will put a hone on it and get back to you. Didn't want to include it in this video, but seems like there's a A little mark there, there. That'll go away. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I will look it up, but I believe these irons to be A2. And I believe the cast iron is a ductile cast iron. Now, many of the modern makers are using a ductile cast iron because they break less frequently. However, they rust quicker. So if you have a plane made with ductile cast iron, keep it waxed, keep it oiled, keep it polished. If you found any of this useful, helpful, doubt you'll find it entertaining. Give it a old like, subscribe, and share. And it looks like we're at about half an hour for the long version of this. I'll come back after I put a hone on it, and I'll do a short version for those who can't tolerate the long version. Head out to your shop. Go make some shavings. Walter out.